What's up, Soul Fam? What up, what up? It's Shani with Healing Elements. This is part two, the part two video to Twin Flames Explained. If you want to take a look at the first part of this series, I give my personal perspective, my take on what I believe a twin flame union is, and I list some common denominators, some very common experiences that are felt and had by twin flames. So the first video, of course, was my description, a little bit going into it, and also listing numbers 1 and 2 of those very, very commonly felt experiences. So number 1, and again, I suggest if you want to go take a look at the video, I go in depth. But number 1, to recap, is in divine time. Typically the twin flame partnerships will come in right as you both are exploring an expansion of your spiritual awakening. Number 2, synchronicities, which is big, of course, and messages and signs from spirit, but it becomes exponentially even bigger with a twin flame union. So again, I go into detail on the other video, but we're going to get to more of, again, the very common experiences that have been reported and I've observed myself about twin flames. And in part 1, again, I'll just say this of my opinion, I do believe it. Personally, I do believe that this is a very, very real phenomena, and it is beautiful and worth exploring. There are a lot of different facets to it, so I have an open mind about specific details, but in fact it's almost like UFO sites, or I don't know, things that are reported constantly and uncannily have a lot of commonalities. So number 3, this is the third common denominator, or commonly felt or experienced essence or situation with a twin flame unity. So number 3 is the collision and the crash course. The collision and the crash course, I call it. It's just like a 1950s song lyric. It feels instantaneously cheesy, but with every fabric of your existence, it compels you to that person. It instantly feels like an explosion and expansion, as if instantaneously, with the snap of your fingers, 2 people that were walking around on this earth collided into one soul body. Honestly, I've been told that it feels like almost you're glowing or walking on air. I mean, people who have told me they're not cheesy people are just telling me things that are so funny. Like, no, you don't understand. I know I'm not like this. And why is this happening? It is profound. So the crash course then comes after the collision, because when 2 twin flames unite together, they ignite each other. When they ignite, they then unlock spiritual insight within each other, sometimes not even by what they share about their knowledge, just naturally because of this divine union and this spark almost of growing 2 souls and almost making it into one entire more powerful force, right? That's all I can explain it that way. A crash course of sorts, putting both individuals in like a sped up time lapse, growing their spiritual awareness then takes place. It's just like perhaps receiving data of like a millennia worth of soulful teachings, like a whole bunch of downloads in an instant, and getting it absorbed into the cells of our flesh in which it is lodged. This crash course violently speeds up and is so powerful. It almost seems like it gains momentum and does not ever plateau. It changes everything for the 2 parties involved, and perhaps other parties that are involved karmically within their circle. Definitely shifts your perspective, awakening the 2 much further spiritually and giving them a boost and an encouraging vibe that is inexplicable. You cannot put it into words, but in knowing that you were introduced to this person to encourage you on your journey and your life path, to let you know that there is such a great and powerful love that is, omni-powerful. It is, a divine partnership. It is a twin flame, a mirror of what your essence is, right? Not your mistakes, not your physical body. So this, exploring of spiritual principles continues after this, collision and crash course of like downloads and instantaneous knowing, right? A lot of absorbing and, openness to Akashic records and ancient teachings is very, very commonly experienced. So, when you want to get answers, seek and you will find. So, number 4, the fourth common denominator within the twin flame concept, I call no place like home. So, no place like home. The most simple and common ways to describe the twin flame phenomena actually is by describing the state of mind while with your twin flame as being finally at home, and that's the emphasis on finally being home. I have been told that feeling at home in every sense of the word is an understatement, and stressing that this is a home sweet home, homecoming type of vibe instead of a new bit of territory. They have said time and time again to me, and I agree, that you cannot describe how unbelievably powerful it feels that you have been to this home, this lighthouse, this beacon, this comfort zone previously. I mean, you know them and you don't know how you know them, and it is really an amazing, third eye-opening experience, right? So this is not two people that are strangers infatuated with each other. And sometimes twin flames can be quite literally, I guess in the physical sense, considered strangers. I have heard time and time again, like people tell me, you don't understand, Shani. I knew on hour 1, minute 1, I was already feeling this telepathic through the universe connection that you're speaking of, like right then. And I'm like, yeah, right out the gate. I told you that collision and crash course is like, boom. So you feel at home. It's like a home sweet home vibe. That is one of very, very commonly had or felt experience. One described it to me actually as like complete and utter tranquility, like a place of respite, always, never dreaded. It's like an adored familiarity and an absolute exuberance when you are around this person, or even for the rest of your life, because you have them now as your home, even when these two physical bodies, these twins, when you and your twin are separated in physical space, you are still one. The collision has happened. You have been ignited, right? Okay, so number 5, the fifth common denominator, commonly experienced sign or thing had between twin flames, I call entanglement. So being entangled, guys. Once you do meet your twin and engage in this total dance of two like-minded souls, the aftermath of the collision is particles and debris that seem to be dislodged, maybe a little messily, maybe just challenges, but it is dislodged, and this debris begins to orbit immediately, so to speak. The aftermath and the debris, all the broken down particles from the collision already are gravitating together. The puzzle pieces that have been broken, perhaps because of the sacrifices made to be with the twin, are all put into place like a puzzle piece, as if it had never been torn apart. The two twins are pulled, really magnetically pulled toward each other, and thus them and the rest of their space coalesce, because they begin to practice things like positive affirmations and law of attraction, and just getting into living in a higher conscious space, living in a more compassionate bubble of space. They intertwine and saturate each other with a solid foundation, just a solid foundation that completely, continuously coalesces after the abrupt crash. So it then becomes like a new sort of crash course, actually, a crash course that is in utter humility, because for both of parties that experience this twin soul partnership, the definition that they have had for their life of love has been altered completely and totally forever, right? Okay, guys, so number 4, the fourth commonly felt experience. I said 4th and I'm already on the 5th. That's hilarious. Is it like something on the clock? Maybe that's a message for somebody. We'll leave it. So number 6, the 6th experience reported by twin flames, I call time distortion. Time distortion. So you've heard people, right, so many times throughout your life say that old saying, time flies when you're having fun. So that's the simple definition of time distortion, symptom within the twin flame union. Time is distorted when twin flames share their flow, basically. Just like Einstein theorized, time is only relevant to the observer that is, observing the experience and marking in their own, self and their philosophy what the pace of time is, if that makes any sense. This is at least how I compare it. The undeniable distortion of time is clearly evident, and if time is relevant to the observer with two souls so infatuated with one another, then of course we would come to the conclusion that they would feel like time flies, right? When they're together having fun. They truly overlook the concept of time. It's that they are so infected with like just these beautiful waves of golden vibrations and again a magnetic pull that is a natural high that they just simply lose the ability to focus on and simply acknowledge their observance and adherence to Father Time. And so the number 7 common denominator, the commonly experienced things within the twin flame union, I call roadblocks. Roadblocks, big time, guys. Logistics always seem to come up when I am asked or I am in a discussion about the twin flame concepts. The person is maybe committed or physically together with the other party that of course is not the twin flame. That could be something. Several factors actually, including, these examples, I'll give you examples, create a roadblock to the physical combination of the two bodies. The two souls are together, but getting through these roadblocks to get to the point where you live a euphoric existence and are able to encourage each other, to have each other's back, and to continue fighting for the environment, fighting for what calls to you in your heart for humanity, okay? So you can get through the roadblocks if you came here to listen to any message for yourself about twin flames. So there could be a variety of roadblocks. Examples are a large age difference, different religious upbringing, different cultural backgrounds and traditions that are very vehemently held by each party, unsupportive or plain dysfunctional family members around them, strict or judgmental friends or family, force feeding like a diet of unhealthy programming to each, clubs, affiliations, groups, you name it, that participate in like that brainwashing type of subtle coercion, masses, lead the masses, and hope that they stay asleep, right? The roadblocks definitely, guys, will seem insurmountable, almost like a Mount Everest. However, as you know, you can do anything, you can accomplish anything, including getting through these roadblocks. So that's usually when someone is intuitively guided to explore what a twin flame means, when this becomes, apparent that there is roadblocks and it really is becoming, there's no problem other than the fact that you just can't stand to not be connected in the physical presence with this person. So people come and will explore on YouTube or come to get a reading for me or others to find out details about their twin flame, what they think about them, or what the twin flame concept really means, and is this really true, and yada yada. So I would suggest, if anybody has experience or is going through roadblocks with their twin, seek divine guidance within yourself or other people. It will be a torch that can lead you to face the roadblock head on. So number 8, the 8th common denominator that is experienced with twins, is very, very specific. So again, these are intimate, intricate, totally specific symptoms, and this is one that I don't hear often from perhaps people in the spiritual community, but a lot of people who I'm very close with and have known me and my past experiences, and I've known theirs, and also a lot of private readings have reported this. So I think it's intriguing, and I wanted to list it for you guys. So it's third eye pressure or pain. So in the middle of your forehead where your third eye is, becomes sometimes, especially when you are not with the person, the physical presence. Of course, you don't have a headache when you're with them, but you will feel a ache and an almost, instantaneous headache when at the same time you will channel their energy. So third eye pressure is described as like when you're becoming more aware of spirit, opening your eyes, including your third eye, our chakra point in the middle of our forehead, can hurt, right? You can feel pain, you can feel consumed by like a heavy, weighted down feeling, like a heavy weight or pressure type of sensation, especially when you are, again, separated in distance on this physical plane from your twin. You may have more headaches than usual once you collide with your twin, feel that, complete opposite feeling when with them in the present, just no headache whatsoever. What is a headache? I don't even know what a headache is, right? So it's twin flames. So, it feels like, as one client described to me, it feels like the moment you collide with your twin that there is like no closing your third eye ever again. It is open so wide and it feels like an invisible heavy tattoo of their presence, like right between your eyes and above, right above your brow line. So number 9, guys, the 9th commonly felt experience with the twin flame phenomena is telepathic wavelengths. So both twins experience a heavy psychic energy flow exchange that is extremely explosive and very hot, very passionate, and very real. So the ability to metaphysically connect to each other using the profound power of our third eye is possible and happens so powerfully with twins. I always surmise that it's probably why the third eye feels, sometimes like it's under pressure or hurts. Energy is flowing so abundantly, energy is being felt and traded back and forth so profoundly that this connectivity is sometimes, interesting and hard to define. It is a telepathic exchange that is a knowing, and it's almost as if you are able to, in your mind, right, without FaceTime or Skype, you're able to have a clear and present feeling of that other entity, that soul, that twin flame within you, almost like connecting to you instantaneously, having a conversation right in front of your face. Now, it's very, very hard to imagine if you have not experienced this, but I welcome you, if you haven't and it happens to you, to drop a comment when it does, because, it is amazing, right? Before colliding in the physical, these twin flames, before uniting, they felt a connection or an ability for connectivity of some sort, right? You guys, twin flames, are just starting to, I believe, usually starting to explore more and more spiritual principles. And so, I think that when going into this union, the two of them feel like they have been able to have gifts of healing or exchange psychic energy or sense some sort of connectivity, right, in some sort of way. But it is always overemphasized, like stated over and over, they had no idea how powerful a connection could be where it is, like they say, perhaps in the future or on other planets. People say in the scientific and other communities that are just, free thinkers, that there are evolved societies that can actually do this, that just, communicate without words telepathically, right? Okay, guys. So moving on, we have number 10, the 10th shared experience with twin flames. Shared dreams or precognition. Shared dreams. So many, many, many twins report an advanced ability and gift, that is brought onto them. It opens the ability to do some, astral traveling or, inserting themselves into a dream state of any kind. So many twins report that it actually freaked them out, even as spiritually aware as they are, as twins are, when they find out that they are twins. They find out they're so connected with one another that through the universe, if they, put the intention, they put the thought and concentrate into it, they can travel and align with their twin in dreams You know, you can see synchronicities, you can align in daydreams, you can align with visions, you can perhaps have your own, you know, day in the physical presence, and then later on report on that same day having shared a vision, and then, you know, both of you bust out your journals, the two twin flames exchange on the same exact day. You had the same exact vision with them and same combo. It is mind-blowing, some of the stories that I've heard. Okay, so messages channeled from spirit often come symbiotically, as if, you know, it is delivered to one twin and the other at the same time, no matter where they are in the worlds, physically separated or not. So even the tapping into an identical subject within the vast halls of the Akashic records. So on the same day, you know how they say in the past that there are just so many dual inventions on two totally separate parts of the planet, to people doing their own thing happen to invent something on the same day. So that is what I believe you know, can have with two twin flames tapping into the Akashic records, the all-knowing wisdom that is everything that has come before, now, and will come in the future is available for us. And I do believe this is so powerful that, you know, twins report to me that they genuinely would have their journals, right? And then whenever they were able to be with their twin again, they would end up sharing, you know, these excerpts or vlogs or journals. And it was amazing how many times that they would come to an epiphany of sorts about the same subject in the same type of channeled message from spirit. So it's amazing, right? So all can be intermingled, or of course, and shared between them without saying one word. The two twins seem totally symbiotic to work together in dream states and be very involved, having actual lengthy conversations that seem more relaxed, realistic, and deliberate, is what I'm told, than other dreams. And this is something that is welcomed for the twins. They welcome this, and it almost is like a pacifier that even if they are with somebody else, you know, another relationship in the physical, it obviously is a dream. So the twin flame, I have observed, finds some solace in knowing they are not cheating, they're not, you know, devaluing anything, they're not going outside their commitment of the current state, right, by going into a dream world. So this becomes something that I've, you know, heard people, like some of my clients, they practice a lot. I'm like, damn. So they meet up in the dream state, and if one of the twins wishes it, so it's going to happen. So it doesn't have to be two of them tuning in. The astral plane, you know, and behind the veil, far off in the heavens, you know, whatever you want to call it, they can meet up just to feel the natural high of each other and the fiery enthusiasm. Okay, there is not a realm that the twin soul will not travel to be with each other. So number 11 is a big one, heavy one. And I said in the part 1 video, if you have been listening, I appreciate you guys, super appreciate if you have. But this is so hard for people to swallow because it's tough, right? Truth hurts. So number 11, the runner and the chaser. Did I like skip a number again? I swear. No. Number 11, which is beautiful, didn't even realize. The runner and the chaser. Running and chasing is such a common theme, you guys, with twin souls. So the dauntless pursuit, chasing the twin on the run, becomes a pattern off and on throughout a twin flame's existence. It can become redundant and a little bit taxing, right? Again, because usually twin flames, you know, face real and significant obstacles, issues and problems that require more than just a quick solution if it's going to be done with integrity. So oftentimes this forces one or the other to be like, I'm going to escape this. I'm going to run from this bullshit. So it is easier for the twin at times, who is like playing the role of the one running, to convince themselves that they have to run. They put like a false narrative in their mind, and simply because of fear. They tell themselves like tons of lies. They say it's never going to work out. I can't accomplish this obstacle. You know, I can't get through this challenge. And that then makes them flee impulsively, like flee, like bail, ghost, right? Without a word sometimes. Fear of the potentially intense gravitational pull and magnetism, it freaks them out, is very commonly told to me. And they, you know, are not perhaps comfortable with this entanglement. If, of course, they were maybe a cold and not so touchy-feely or emotional person in the past due to the way they were raised or circumstances or just their own personality, they often become the runner because this entanglement, this fusion of the souls, it freaks them out clearly because they are unable to prevent themselves from turning into basically a different person, right? So the twin who plays the role of the one being chased is constantly trying to grasp why the person is running away from them. Why is my twin ghosting me? Right? That is so much of a common theme. Why? And the other person is just busy trying to, get that twin flame out of their head. They're in denial, and they know every second, every day, every hour, it is like you cannot scrub the stain out, right? That's really what I want to say. So the runner flees and escapes as quickly as the chaser believes that just one more lap and they will catch their twin. It is both a sad and beautiful tragedy, really. That's the twin flame is so heavily described as that. Both can surrender if they surrender basically to a power greater than them. Right, guys? So there we have my take. Those are, just a few. I'm hoping and planning to do many more videos that are just on subjects in my journal. I have like 4 journals. I want to do like a time lapse or just show it in some way. It's special to me because just seeing the progress like that has happened, of course, with, the more knowledge I gain with mentors or just through channeling or of course just spiritual awakening in general. It's amazing to see how many subjects and things that I wrote about and have never talked about. So I feel like 2020 for a lot of us is an upsurge of just putting ourselves out there, letting go of anything that held us back before. And what held me back, I believe, is that little tiny piece I was holding on to going, I don't know if I want to speak on this because, people will feel like I'm copying other videos because YouTubers are weird and say that, or people will be like, what, oh my God, you had past life regression sessions and, you feel like that you met a being from another planet, right? It's going to get deep. So those things, I guess I can say the fear of being disliked, which is a big part of who I am from childhood, and that has gone almost completely away. And I feel like this year will really thrust me and push me forward. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was after 2 years of being on YouTube, I had never done any kind of video on twin flames. So there's my perspective, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, taking the time to subscribe to my channel. I would love you to. In the bottom right corner, you guys, there's like a little watermark. If you want to just click that, you will subscribe to my channel, and if you click the bell, it'll give you all the notifications and let you know when I upload videos. So again, I just appreciate you watching. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate you letting me explain and testify for you guys. Really is a beautiful existence when we're able to empower and encourage. I would much rather do that and be a cheese ball that people maybe misperceive as a phony than to be some negative Nelly carrying around resentment and getting off on other people's maybe follies or downtrodden, situations. Okay, guys, thank you so much, and blessings, love, and light always.